Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everywhere we go, watching Orlando, putting on a show. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Everywhere we go, watching Orlando, putting on a show. Welcome to another episode of On the Capo Stand. I am your host, David, and alongside yours truly is another happy Orlando City supporter, a good friend, John. How you doing, John?
Good, David. How are you?
As you can see, I'm singing out of the rooftops. On the top of rooftops, I'm singing, people. Why? Because in Florida, in the state of Florida, our home state, there's only one team that can fill stadiums, that can score goals, that can bring people, and it's us. And that's why today, for those of you that are watching, let me get the microphone up here. Orlando versus todo mundo versus everybody. My thanks to our friends at Capowear, non-paid advertising. I just love their shirts. They just came up with a new one. Go check them out. Capowear on all the platforms. And if you're going down to Miami, you need to go pick up their latest model because it's a beauty. It's a thing of beauty. John, uh, did anything happen this weekend?
Just a little bit. I think probably the most exciting match I've definitely ever been to in person.
For sure, for
Um,
sure. And you
I'm
know what? We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that, John, because three things are gonna happen today. People are gonna hate me more than they already do. Number one. Number two, more Messi and Inter Miami fans, if they have any, are gonna hate me more. But what's the surprise here? And last but not least, more people in this fan base are gonna hate me. Why? Because I don't play games. We call it how it is. That's how we do it in the show. So if it's your first time watching us live, you basically you can contact us in one of our platforms, DM us if you want to be on the show. You don't have to agree with us. You can come on board to yell and scream and say that I don't have a beautiful singing voice. My mother disagrees with you, by the way, and all that. So how do you do this, my friends? Well, you can watch us live on YouTube at Davis Channel 76, on Instagram at On the Capo Stand, on Facebook On the Capo Stand Podcast. You can email us at foodiefan76 at yahoo.com. On Twitch, we're at On the Capo Stand. On X, we are at On the Capo Stand. So right now we're live on Twitch, X, YouTube, Facebook, and I think that's it, John. So with that said, friends, send your request. I'll be DJing tonight. So with that said, if you don't mind reading some of the comments, so I can. We already have people that want to be on, John. Imagine
definitely
that.
go.
All
Yeah,
right. So
Ahmed Salim. Let's go.
no, John. Let's go.
There you go.
Okay. Cool.
Jim D, say goodbye to, and I am not good at Spanish, David. That's all you.
To the Chihuahuas.
The Chihuahuas. There you go. I didn't know.
Okay. All right. Oh, the Ichi. Oh, I got you, Jim. Jim, I'm an old man. You can't use this type of lingo, brother. Oh no, he clarifies the Chihuahuas. Okay, gotcha. Who's next?
And ORL Soccer 10, Duncan has that killer instinct and determination to win. According to his press conference, I can't wait until our rookie sinks Miami.
I fell in love
Let's
with that
start with
man.
his press conference. For those that didn't see, somebody, a reporter, asked him, what can't he wait to play Miami? And he just responded, when, and yeah, I mean, you love that. That's what you hope for in a player, is that killer instinct. We've talked about it before. And you can't really ask for anything more than that from from one of your players, and I'll be, and one of your young players too. One of your young players. I'm falling more and more in love with him every time I watch him play, every time I hear him speak.
He can call my
Um,
kids daddy and eat at my home. That's it.
yeah, there you go. Yeah, and he keeps scoring. He keeps doing what we've been asking of a number, of our number 9, of our striker. And yeah, you can't really ask for much more from him than what he's doing. He's came in, he's grabbed the striker position by the throat, if you will, and said, "This is mine, and I'm not giving this position up." So let's hope he continues. I think he'll do what he's been doing. Miami, cool. They brought in some attacking players, some
They
really
sure
good
did.
attacking players that that everybody knows of. But he, they didn't do anything to shore up that pathetic excuse of a defense that they have.
No,
So
for sure, John. So, and this is the thing, guys. We're gonna go in depth, and I'm gonna take an executive decision. We're gonna go straight to the game, John, because
yeah,
what's happening around the league, everybody knows what's going on around the league. They're selling players, this, that, and the other. People want to hear what's gonna happen this Wednesday. But first, we gotta talk about what happened Saturday.
definitely.
Before I give the microphone to John, because obviously John was on site, I rarely miss a game. And this past weekend, my wife is a school teacher, like many of you know. So she's going back to work on Wednesday, and we wanted to, do something nice with the family over the weekend. There was some things that we wanted to do in the Tampa Bay area. So we stayed the night in St. Pete. Oddly enough, the hotel right across the street from where the Tampa Bay Route is playing their baseball field. Not only did we watch Orlando City on Apple, we got to watch the whole game against Atlanta, not Atlanta, but Tulsa FC. They won 3 nil. By the way, if you care. And I missed the game. Rarely did I do that, but I gave my tickets for free to a nice supporter of this club on the Facebook group that I belong to. And I hope she told me, so I hope you enjoy them. She said that she wasn't going, and this was a great opportunity. So I'm happy that they went to a good home. I didn't want to profit from them, but that's me because I'm rich, as you guys know, so I can afford to give the tickets away without expecting any compensation. Now, with that said, John, what happened this last Saturday at 655 West Church Street when Santos Laguna came to town? And friends, before John says anything, I want to remind you that revenge, revenge is a dish that you have to serve ice cold. Go ahead, John. Can you hear me, John?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so you go ahead and give us your impressions about
Yeah,
the
definitely. It
okay.
blinked out there for a second. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay, brother.
Being at the game, watching the replay, obviously, I'm still a buzz by it. It was one of the most complete performances I've seen us have possibly ever. I mean, Santos Laguna is not a team that, it's mid to upper tier in Liga MX. I believe in the spring they finished 4th in the league in the regular season. So they aren't, they're no slouch. And we took it to them. We were threatening from the first whistle. They were threatening from the first whistle. Duncan misses a sitter. I mean, Janssen eventually was called off sides. Whether that was going to be called back by VAR remains to be seen. But both teams were threatening back and forth, and then the Santos Laguna opens up the scoring. As good of a game as Angulo had, just an unnecessary mistake on him. He tried to bring the ball down and run with it versus the simple play and passing it back to the defender. I can't remember if it was Janssen or who it was that was right behind him. And then Santos Laguna takes it and scores. Gillespie, that's one he usually stops. Out of all the amazing saves he has, he doesn't stop that one. It was a difficult save, but that's one that we're used to seeing him save. And then a couple minutes later, we come back and Duncan McGuire does what Duncan McGuire does, and I have that video if you want to. We can show it, David.
Oh yeah, go ahead, go ahead. So let's take a look. Fair use, by the way. So while John is doing his magic, okay, we got it here. Let me go ahead and allow it. There we go.
Facundo Torres. Rafael Santos, good looking ball in for Duncan McGuire.
Filthy, just filthy.
Yeah, I mean clinical, and that's not a slouch. That's not a slouch of a center back. He did that. He got past either. I mean, he's one of the best center backs in Liga MX. So I mean, he did that, and then we go into halftime tied. Jim D with a comment. The third goal was almost as loud as the U.S. Open Cup final. Crazy match. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was. I'm still buzzing from it.
Oh no, for sure, for sure.
I'm so happy I stuck it out. Quick backstory: Friday, work asked me to go on a long trip for them, and of course, I was like, well, make it worth my time. But I'm doing the whole trip back, so I drove up to Southern Alabama and back Friday night so I could make the match. Got back home about 5 a.m. and then slept most of the day away. Woke up and went to the match and had the time of my life. I'm sure some of you saw the video of my son. He's incredible at the matches. He has a lot of fun, and even when we're not playing well, makes it well worthwhile.
No, brother, I enjoy those because as you're saying that, John, this past weekend, Saturday, as a matter of fact, it just dawned on me that I no longer have babies at home. I was crossing the street with both of my kids, and my youngest was next to me. So I grabbed his hand trying to cross the street, and he says, "Dad, what am I, 5?" He's going to be 14 in December. So I just realized that, and I always tell John off camera is enjoy those moments because they don't come back, and his son reminds me so much about when my kids used to go to the USL games back in the day. And this is what it's all about. Our fans are being groomed, are being raised. Some of them, after victories like last Saturday, are being brought to life. Yeah. 9 months from now, we're going to have a bunch of Wilders and a bunch of Duncans and a bunch of Mauricios born in Orlando. That's a fact. 9 months from now, if you don't believe me, start calling the hospitals. Don't tell them I sent you. That's crazy. So that's exactly what we need. What other teams around the league import fanboys? Here in Orlando, we have people that love the team. I gotta tell you my impressions of the game. Obviously, I watched it. I want to thank our good friends Sergio Ruiz and Miguel Gallardo, two legends of Orlando City, who basically saved me from the painfulness that is to watch our Orlando City games in English. They're not doing that great. And just to let you know, Miami has their own crew for Spanish and English, and so if you don't want people fawning upon Messi and Inter Miami, I suggest that you choose the option to listen to the local radio. Our good friend Evan Weston is gonna be there, so let's go and support them instead of I don't know, getting mad because it's skewed a certain way. If you guys saw the video that Sergio posted today of them celebrating, it was fantastic. I want to remind everybody that Santos Laguna is Miguel Gallardo's childhood team, and that man still celebrated the last goal. I have to say, I was disappointed to concede the first goal. Miguel and Sergio sort of said Pedro was at fault. Some people say that Robin was blocking his view. Regardless, it doesn't matter, right? We won, so it doesn't matter. So that was the first goal, and then and then the other thing was Um, the fact that the first goal with Duncan Maguire that we just saw was just insane. It was just filthy. It was just powerful. It was just like, this is my house. I'm a man and I own you. That's basically what that said. And by the way, that goal by Duncan Maguire was over arguably one of the best center backs in North America. Let me say that again. That was against arguably one of the best center backs in North America, in CONCACAF. That happened. Then after that, and we're gonna, I guess, that's the one that you have ready, right, John? The one I'm about to talk.
Pereira, yep, I got
Right.
Pereira.
Our captain Mauricio Pereira, and go ahead whenever you're ready. Decided not to day Satan and tied it with a golazo. Understatement, by the way, calling it a golazo. So let's see. Here we go.
On a Saturday night on Apple TV and MLS Season Pass as Pereira picking it right where he left off, going for goal!
What a strike.
It's a magnificent hit!
Just pure filthiness. And I gotta remove it here so we won't get striked. So
the funny thing about that, David, is
yeah.
right before Santos Laguna scored their first goal, I turned around to the people behind us that were with our group and said, "Man, if we had an attacking mid that could hit from 18 to 25 yards out, we'd be dangerous." And then
from your lips to God's ears. From your lips to God's ears. That's why you gotta speak things into action. That's it. So we have our friend Ahmed Salim that is going to be joining us here in a second. Did we read Jim D's comment, the last one?
Yes.
Okay, we did. All right. So to finish my assessment of the game, then after that, we had probably one on my review for the night. John and I are making this a habit of talking about the game right after it finishes. I said probably one of the top 50 goals in Orlando City all time. This was at the same level as the Facundo Torres goal in the final for Open Cup. Nani in MLS's Cup, MLS's back. I'm sorry, against Miami. Adrian Venter against RSL in 2016. This is one of those goals. I haven't felt this way since the last two goals, in my opinion, that have been at this level were Tesho against New York City and Daryl Dicker against DC. Those goals where you're like, we left them on the pitch. We left them standing there looking at the fences, to use a baseball term. And I am so excited for this young man, for Wilder Cartagena, who earned that goal. And I have to say something that a lot of people are not giving credit for. Erchan Kara. That goal doesn't happen if Erchan Kara doesn't have that fantastic goal play, hold up play in order to make it happen. I think we have found Erchan Kara's strength. If we can harness his height and his strength and his ability to find the channels, I think we have something here. Absolutely. And I am super excited about that. With that said, John, I'm gonna. We got two comments, and we're gonna let you in. So let's read this real quick.
Mark Rodriguez. Pereira's shot was placed where the spiders lay their eggs.
Absolutely, you better believe it.
Mark Rodriguez, an old ESPN FC reference. Let's show Cartagena's goal real quick with the call from the legendary crew real quick, if you don't mind, David.
Absolutely. Go ahead, brother.
Cartagena para Cara, espera Facu, la tiene Cara, soltó para Araujo, centro para Araujo. Cartagena, cántalo conmigo. ¡Gol! ¡Gol! ¡De Orlando!
There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
legendary
in the back.
And we have our friend Ahmed Salim. Ahmed, Welcome
Oh,
to
guys,
on the Capo stand, sir. How you been?
man, watching that brings back like all these great vibes from Saturday. I felt
Ah,
like it's like, oh man,
for
I
sure, brother, for sure. So I mean, go. Unfortunately, like you probably heard me say, I wasn't there for good reasons. I mean, sometimes you have to keep the wife happy, right? Your impressions about the game, because let me tell you something. When that goal came in, I was watching it with my youngest son, my oldest son, and my wife had fallen asleep on the bed next to us. We almost woke up half that hotel. I'm telling you, it was insane. How was it at the stadium?
it was nuts. It was nuts. It's funny because I had a extra
Huh.
ticket, so I brought a friend of mine, and the last time he was at a game was the U.S. Open Cup final. So for him, this was like the next best thing. It was just the energy was crazy in our section. It was just nuts. I mean, I'll admit there were some times when I was worried, um, but you know, it was unbelievable, man. It was unbelievable. I
Yeah,
mean,
David, you really missed out. I mean, the atmosphere, the free kick that we had there at the end, right before the goal, right before Arujo, stopped their counter. The energy that was in the stadium, the TV did not do it justice. It did it an
yeah,
extreme injustice. I was greatly disappointed
it was.
because I promise you, I mean, I'm in the wall, so it's a little bit louder, but it legitimately sounded like the entire stadium was singing Vamos Orlando.
Oh no, it
Uh,
was. It was.
yeah.
The energy was off the charts, and that's that. Honestly, the attendance wasn't all that. At least in like in the sections that I was at,
Hmm.
but the energy was, and they had supporters with drums, and we just drowned them out completely. Completely, they were just
Yeah,
like.
we got a comment there. I agree with that one.
Mark
Go ahead, John.
Rodriguez, announce Ahmed's official signing to the podcast already.
No, for sure. Listen, I've known I've known Ahmed for a few years already. Great friend, great fan of this club, and yeah, for sure. There's some not jumping the gun. There's some talks that we have to do. I'll have to say he's gonna be joining us probably next month because I have a business trip to Jamaica that is brewing, and because I don't know if it's gonna interfere with the with our Mondays. And the last thing is I wanna do is a show from outside of the US with the Wi-Fi and all that. So
Yeah.
so definitely he's gonna be coming back for those of you guys that love him. And besides, I think it's time for us to diversify the panel. Because a lot of people hate me and they don't like me. So the less I get to talk, the better. So Mark, you're gonna get your wish, okay?
If you say
Uh,
if Mark keeps commenting, Ahmad's going to be too expensive here soon.
yeah, for sure, for sure. There you go. Go ahead.
Mark Rodriguez commented again. Ahmed, you are welcome.
Yeah. So the cat's out of the bag. This is a conversation I was gonna have with him, with us actually later. But cat's out of the bag. Obviously, some things have to happen. Obviously, Ahmed has to agree. I can force. I can wrestle him. But no, my friend. Listen. Um, we won convincingly. Beautiful. I said it. I said it online. I actually joined our friends from Orlando Lions Den on their Den After Dark. I really missed being part of that platform. A lot of good friends were there, saying basically the same things that we're gonna be saying tonight. How great it was, blah blah blah. But the fact of the matter, friends, is that is setting us on a collision course with history. Wednesday, and I would like to preface this before John and Ahmed obviously add to this topic. Wednesday, we are going to be facing the Inter Miami, arguably the club that is the hottest right now, and uh, their captain is to many one of the best players to ever play the game. Give them that. Super talented. Nobody's arguing that. Uh, but the fact of the matter is that nobody wants us to win. At MLS HQ, they know that if Messi is out Wednesday, they're gonna lose billions. So we are going to Miami not only to play against Messi and company, but against the refs. We also against the officials. It's gonna be dirty. If we're gonna go there to win, we're gonna have to fight not just the 11 men on the pitch on the opposite side of the pitch, but we're gonna have to play against the media. Nobody wants us. Nobody wants us to win. Hence, Orlando versus everybody. Orlando versus todo el mundo. Because that's a reality, my friends. That's a sad, sad, sad reality. Um, and I finish with this. The league already tried the dirty hand, la mano negra, like we say in Spanish, in MLS's back, where they purposely paired us with Inter Miami, expecting us to roll over and for David Beckham's Inter Miami to win. And did not happen. Did not happen because Nani, the eternal captain, in his excellence, destroyed that narrative. Um, all I have to say is, and I'll give the microphone to the guys after this. All I have to say is, remember, friends, the ball is round here and in Miami. The pitch is green there and it's green here, and there's 90 minutes on the clock. And football, like we have always said, is not played on paper; it's played on grass. So, John, if you don't mind taking that, and then Ahmed about what's going to happen this Wednesday, your expectations and fears, whatever you want to talk about that.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, fact of the matter is, they brought in some attacking players. Good for them. They can score goals against Atlanta, who's given up the third most goals in the league. I believe this is the case. So, Atlanta defensively, Atlanta's nothing to be proud of scoring against. So, you know, I think I think it's gonna be a good match. I think it's gonna be a hard fought match. But I see us with the genius of Poppy. As much as we were hating on him to begin the season and saying, his time was up and he's not adjusting to the league. And ever since he started with the two defensive midfielders, double pivot, whatever you want to call it, we have looked like a different team. And that's with Cartagena and Araujo in there. What Atlanta did not do against Miami last week is they did not mark Messi until he was too close to goal. Messi's still dangerous. We'll sit there and make fun of his age. He's older than me. He's washed up. He's still dangerous. He proved that last week against Atlanta. But you give any player of any caliber 30, 40 yards to run with the ball, they're probably going to do pretty good with it. So, I think we're going to stick Araujo and Cartagena on Messi, kind of, have them match up against them as good as they can to apply some pressure. We're going to press. I think we're going to press them all match, not let Busquets get time on the ball to feed those balls into Messi for when he does get open, because that's going to happen. He's Messi.
Mm-hmm.
And I think offensively, as bad as their defense is and has been, we got the upper hand. I think Cartagena is going to send a sign to Messi. First touch, he may get a yellow card inside the first 5 minutes. Let's hope not. But, I think that's going to happen. Him and Gillespie have a history against Messi. Messi's never scored in an official match against Gillespie. 3 matches, hasn't scored a goal against him. And this is a guy, mind you, scored, 2 goals every 3 matches or something like that for Barcelona. So, I like our chances. And that's not me being a fan, part of it is, but I've also looked at it from a analytical standpoint and the way we've looked and the way we've played. And, Poppy's done wonders for us so far this year, and advancing from where we started, which is what you want to see. You want to see the team build throughout the year. And I personally think we take it to them in Miami, against all odds. What's Orlando City going to do, against all odds? We're always against all odds. Here's Orlando City fans and as the club Orlando City. So the players aren't going to feel the pressure, I don't think. And I think we're going to see a big game from Duncan and a big game from Facu. I see us winning, honestly.
Go ahead, Evan.
Man, you couldn't have said it better, David. This past few days after we played, this is probably the first time I've ever seen it where a team is the underdog and nobody's rooting for them. It's like usually everybody's rooting for the underdog. In this case, this is the first time where it's like, yeah, I was watching the commentators after the game and it was like, really? I mean, come on, But my thing is, we have it, and what I'm happy about the most is the players' attitudes. Like what they're posting and what they're saying. I mean, call it maybe media hype. Maybe they're trying to hype it up more. Maybe it's always there, but that's what we need to see. And when you talk about Poppy and you talk about all that stuff, somebody was like, "Where are all the Poppy haters now?" But this is what we've been asking for all along. This is what we should have expected all along. This is how we should have played at the U.S. Open Cup, right? That's neither here nor there. But my point is, we're cheering for him now, but because we did this, celebrate it. But this is what we should come to expect from our team.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's really all I can say,
No, and I mean, it seems like you were just reading my mind. Saturday, when I went on, then after that, I said the same thing. I said, and I have said it before on the show, we can't continue this madness of we lose, Papi out, we win. Where's the Papi haters again? I said that, and John said, we're just gonna let the topic rest. We're gonna revisit this in December. And I said it on Then After Dark. I said it on our review of the game on Instagram. Usually that's where and Twitter where we post them. And I said and I tweeted this or X whatever it's called now. I said if Oscar Pareja's purpose was for me to fall in love with him again, and in my words, it's working because this is what we wanted. This is what we expected. Listen. If we end up with a successful season, whatever that looks like, I'll be the first one to apologize, and I'll apologize to him personally. I met Oscar before, super nice guy, and we have said in the show that our disagreements with Oscar wasn't personal. I think he's a fantastic person, a great individual, of character. But it's a game of results, and today. While I was on LinkedIn, by the way, if I use LinkedIn for my job, every job that I've had the last 12 years, I've gone through it. But I also follow our club in that platform and several people in the front office. And Ricardo Moreira, the man is busy. Right now we're hiring for a, I don't want to say headhunter, but more like a scout in Sao Paulo. So we have a scout in right now we're hiring a scout in Sao Paulo to feed our academy. And on top of that, Orlando City just had a symposium or workshop, if you want to call it that way, sponsored by the EPL here in Orlando for coaches in the region. That says that we are a club that has great aspirations, that we want to grow football, that we want to develop talent, my friends. And if you saw the golazo by Moises Tablante tonight against Red Bulls, by the way, they lost 2-1, unfortunately. We surrendered a PK at the wrong time, but that's football. You can win them all. Do you see that our academy is producing top talent? And if you see all the things that people are saying about our scouting, the fact, and this is not from me, this is from people that have hated on Orlando before, big MLS talking heads that are saying, hey, look at the numbers. Orlando has drafted some big guns. Kyle Aaron, Daryl Dike, Jack Lynn, and now a guy that already it has national team rumors, and I said it here. I'm going to find that clip when I said, take the pictures because Duncan Maguire, that the Nebraskan assassin, is not going to be here past next year, and I stand by that. So with that said, friends, this is the thing. And I gotta present this to you guys. I want to hear what you have to say about that. The fact of the matter is, Wednesday, all the pressure is on Miami.
Yes.
They are the ones that gotta win. They are the ones with the goal. They're the ones with the superstar owner. Nobody knows our owners. Our owners have to show ID to get into the stadium. Nobody knows who they are. The fact of the matter is, friends, that if we go and we get clobbered on Wednesday, the universe is gonna be in its place. Earth is gonna spin. The sun is gonna come up tomorrow or the day after. But if we win, I'm gonna say this to the Atlanta to the Miami Trolls. And let me focus here because this is gonna be a clip for the show. If we win on Wednesday night, you better believe it that maybe you need to take 6 months off from social media because I'm gonna go hard, so hard. People are gonna be like, David, take it easy. You're going too hard, and I'm gonna be like, no, no, I'm not going hard enough. Because all that frustration, all those years of pain, I'm just gonna deposit them on you. I just gonna deposit them on you. There's a guy like Football Miami something, and I'll finish with this. That he just takes L's. He posted what is it, a poll?
Yeah.
Did you know that there was another MLS thing? And what happened? How can you get trolled on your own trolling? But that happens. All right, let's start with John. Then Ahmed. We go out to Miami. We win Wednesday. What happens then? What's the expectation after that?
Yeah. So that puts us in what, the quarterfinals of the League's Cup.
Yeah.
We play either Houston and the team from Liga MX escapes me.
Pachuca, I believe, is the Mexican champion, by the way, which is no easy feat.
Nope. So we either play one of those two teams. I like our chances against Houston. Honestly, man, I said it in my video, my post-match reaction Saturday night, and I titled it, "Who's going to stop us?" Once we beat Miami, all the pressure, we don't have any pressure going into the game, but I feel like we beat Miami at their place. This is the most hyped match we have had, maybe even more so than our MLS opener. Nobody wants us to win, like David said. So I think we win Wednesday. Why not win League's Cup? Why not? We already beat the team everybody expects to win it. Honestly, that's me as a fan saying that. Honestly, analytically, I see us, possibly making the semifinals, semifinals, getting into that third place game and taking third place. Why not be the third best team in the in basically North America at that point? And then we get the Champions Cup spot.
Yeah, go to CCC next year.
Yep. Why not? And like I said, Poppy's really impressed me the last month with what he's done with the team. And you hit it right on the head, David. He's making us eat our words, and we're happy about it.
No, for sure. And this is the thing, guys. Oh, I'm sorry, Ahmed. I didn't mean to cut you off, but this is the thing that a lot of people are forgetting. If Miami gets itself in the top three spots, then we go to CONCACAF Cup, how it's been renamed next year. With Messi, if they continue being this juggernaut, they're gonna win it. And guess what? Then we send Messi to the Club World Cup. Come on, it has been there. MLS is salivating right now. Right now, Don Garber is sending emails to every church, synagogue, temple, mosque, and shrine in South Florida to be put on the prayer list. That's what Don Garber is doing right now, friends. Right. As a matter of fact, he may be even contacting the Wiccans and the neo-pagans, all these people. I mean, he's not leaving any stone unturned. He is praying to every deity in the skies because he really, really, really doesn't want us to win. Go ahead, Amen.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. And it's just, you know what? Like we always say, every good thing must come to an end. And Wednesday, my hope is that's exactly what's going to happen, because it would be nothing sweeter than for that to be their first loss with Messi than a loss to Orlando. That's all I can say. I mean, what else you want?
Yeah.
The only thing that really has me is the price of the tickets, because I was like, let's go.
Oh, hold
And
that thought. We're not talking about that, brother.
Yeah.
Let's read these comments here, and then we're gonna go back to Ahmed's comment.
Mark Rodriguez, MLS will not want Messi to get eliminated. That's a huge loss of cash if he is out for the rest of the tournament. He continued to say football is played on grass, but MLS soccer is sometimes arranged in Garber's office. Yeah, I mean, I thought, it wouldn't surprise me if they come out with the referee announcements and Ted Uncle's on the game. And that wouldn't surprise me whatsoever.
That would be
For sure. Listen, I guarantee you the VAR is gonna be Ted Uncle. I'm telling you right now, I firmly believe that, and his wife is gonna be the fourth official. The odds are really stacked against us. But I mean, can you let us know what's going on with this situation? I know I heard $150, but that was the price for the supporters.
Yes.
For the people already in supporter groups. It's not general public.
Exactly.
So it's a special price.
That's supporters, because afterwards I was like, last time I went to Miami, I was like, all right, I told my son we'll go, and then I'm like, it's $150 a ticket. Like, I get it, but come on. So somebody was.
Listen, I took the liberty of looking at it. I have to say this because I know there's a lot of people that feel that this is the antithesis of what Messi should be doing in the United States. I personally, and today I had the pleasure of joining my good friends at the Steven Edge podcast on their weekly space on Twitter. I want to throw a big shout out to my good friend Matt Farley, the David Valentin of Stevenage, basically. And in there, the sport is for the working folks.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that toils away in some crappy job and Saturday at 3 p.m. pays for his ticket and goes and watches the team. And this year, the tickets have gone up because obviously we're in League One, a higher league, more talented. And right now, if you want to stand in the supporter section at the Limex Stadium, we're talking about £300 to £500. And there's discounts for college students and kids under 18 and seniors and people on a tight budget. I mean, it's just beautiful the way they try to bring the sport to the masses. And in Israel, a supporter ticket will be the equivalent of $300 or $400. And again, I just don't understand why it's that here we have to make the sport for the filthy rich. We already put the game behind a paywall.
Mm-hmm.
We already, this is obscene. I'm sorry. This game, and I'm gonna take my Orlando City fan hat for a second. This game should be a celebration of Floridian football, bringing communities together, bringing friends together, a healthy rivalry, all that. This is what this game should have been. This game should have been a celebration of our state, the third largest state in the United States, enjoying the beautiful game with one of the greatest. Instead, we are packing the house with superstars. By the way, again, I can't confirm, but according to Elliot Platten, who is again one of my favorite podcasters, and his channel is Away Days. It is not a paid advertising. He said that when he went down, he was given a ticket, and his ticket was 6 figures. If he would have to pay for it, and he was sitting right next to Messi's family. In the video itself, you can see him high-fiving Messi's brother. That's insanity. That somebody would throw what a surgeon makes in a year in a game that lasted 2.5 hours. I'm sorry, guys. We're not gonna grow the sport if Johnny, the guy that works at driving the monorail at Disney, making 16, 17 bucks an hour, he's not going to be able to pay those prices. He's not going to, and even if he wanted to stay home and watch it on TV, he still has to pay, what, 90 something dollars for the yearly? Come on. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. What do you guys think about that?
Good, man.
I agree. That was my whole thing. My thing is, you want people to attend. They want to have a packed house, and you know what they're doing? They're making it so that they're not. And they're gonna skip over it. They're not gonna show it, but you know it's not. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, who? Please, I'm just, especially when it's last minute. Like with tournaments like this, I feel like it's even more so because as is, a lot of people I feel like didn't know enough about the Leagues Cup. You know, so like at the stadiums to begin with, people didn't. It's not packed. It's not a packed house. Nobody knew what the Leagues Cup was. The majority of the people. So now it's like you're fighting to get people in, and you're gonna bump it up like that.
Yep. I mean, it all goes back to, you know, I've said it before. I tweeted it before. And Ted Lasso, the most recent season 3, episode 10. The owner of Richmond, the club that Ted Lasso coaches, manages, without spoiling anything, is brought into a meeting with a bunch of owners of other Premier League clubs and gives a very passionate speech about where the state of soccer is, period. Because I know in the Premier League, that's a big deal of how much of a elitist thing going to a Premier League match is getting to be, over in England. And the speech is beautiful. The speech is, her getting on the owners. And I'm saying these are big clubs: Manchester United, Chelsea, Liverpool, clubs like that, and really getting on them about how they should be ashamed of themselves because one of the characters in the movie basically had to used to sneak in the Richmond matches to watch them when he was a young man, not even just a teenager. And now he's one of the guys wanting to jack it up, and it's like, I don't know how David Beckham grew up, but shame on him, shame on the MLS, shame on anybody. I was enraged when they were charging $70 for the supporter section for the Miami match in September.
Mm-hmm.
And this is more than double that. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And then for our fans to go down there, I don't know if you guys are aware what happened last match, but apparently like the bathrooms weren't even opened and they had to get somebody to open the bathrooms and all that. $150 a ticket. You better have, in the men's bathroom, gold urinals and everything, and a towel guy right there by the sink asking what type of cologne you want. So, I mean, they're getting ridiculous, and it's sad. Luckily, a list came out in the last week of the most affordable MLS clubs to go and see, and luckily Orlando is at the better end of the list, one of the more cheaper options that there is in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
So at least, in my opinion, we're on the right side of things. I know when the executives look at it and see, we could be charging more, they're not going to like that. But, soccer is the everyman's game. Soccer is, like David said, where you get, a cobbler and a iron worker and a man working on the railroad together. They're sitting there working their tails off to put food on the table for their family, and maybe get some extra change together to go see the soccer match on Saturday. And I put it on Twitter. It priced me out. I was fully planning on going.
Yeah.
The only thing that was stopping me was the price, and then I see $150 for a supporter ticket, and you can't find it much cheaper at that recycling bin of a stadium
friends,
that they have over there.
Go ahead, sorry. Go ahead.
What's
No,
that?
no, I was just gonna say the $150, by the way, is restricted to membership in a supporter group.
Mm-hmm.
They have a limited amount of those numbers. So my understanding is first come first serve for the membership of the supporter groups. So that means if let's say that they want to restrict how many people we have there in purple, which they definitely going to.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be surprised if I'm probably misquoted, but I believe they're not. The set number is 400 that they allowed it for Orlando. So obviously, splitting half between ILF and Rockets, that's 200 apiece, and so that's that. And then after that, if you are not a support group member, then you have to set whatever. Thank God we have that blessing in the United States that you can safely sit in a stadium without people assaulting you. At least I hope that still's the case in Miami. They don't have a good tracking record. And you're gonna be paying up to 5, 6, 7, maybe $800 for your ticket. If you can afford it, God bless you. But your friend David Valentin, while everybody knows I'm filthy rich, but at some point, I have to understand that my kids are going to college soon, that I have bills to pay, just like everybody else. I just came from a vacation that I'm paying for right now, and all that. You know, you don't become rich by throwing $800 on a game. I'm sorry, that's just that way it is. My wife, who is super budget conscious, will probably castrate me if I was to tell her that I was throwing $800 on a ticket. So that said, friends, you do as you will. I mean, if you're a young kid or you have the money, God bless you. I'm not shaming you. I just think, like John said, that the because my friends in the UK and Israel have asked me if this is insanity. And a cool story, a story that is pertinent to this. When PSG played Maccabi Haifa in Haifa, same situation happened, my friends. Same situation happened where season ticket holders just sold their tickets for an insane amount of cash. There was my friend Guy over there in Haifa. I want to throw a shout out to him. He was telling me that people flew from Saudi Arabia, from the UAE, from Qatar, from Kuwait, Turkey to watch that game because it's messy. It's messy. It's messy. And the real supporters of Maccabi Haifa, they were not there because some sold their tickets to make money. I'm going to be one of those guys. So hate me everyone. They sold their tickets, and the other thing was that the tickets available were so out of range. We're talking about up to $5,000 for a seat somewhere in the stadium, and it basically was a PSG or a Messi. I'm sorry, it was a Messi packed house, and PSG defeated Maccabi Haifa. Everybody knows that, but a lot of people were upset. And at the time, it was hard for me to understand what they were talking about. Now I'm seeing it in the flesh, where this is just a circus, guys. It's just a circus where this guy comes into town, and then all of a sudden, all the fun of the football is being sucked out. And I understand you want to say that you saw the guy live. God bless you for that. That's great. I mean, the three men that you see on the screen, if you're watching us, have seen Kaká, have seen Nani, have seen Nocerino, Julio Baptista in purple. We have seen those legendary European players, and then in the league we have seen Zlatan,
Drogba.
David, yeah, Drogba. Come on, God, his last name escapes me right now. The guy that was in New York, David Villa, right? Jovinko. I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on. We got to see those people here. Wayne Rooney, for crying out loud, his brother played here. So we have seen some people that have a certain pedigree. And I understand you want to say, hey, I was there and I watched it. But at the same time, friends, I think the growth of the sport is where it hurts, the growth of the sport, because because if the next 2 years, if this is what we're gonna have, in my opinion, it's probably gonna kill the derby in Florida. If people can't, if we're not gonna have Orlando City fans in big numbers down there, and we're not gonna have Inter Miami fans in Orlando in big numbers, this is what makes a derby or derby, however you want to say it. This is what makes it. It's people talking trash back and forth. And if you don't believe that, ask the fans of the Argentinian league. That right now it's been maybe 3 or 4 years that where the government said no more away fans. Every team plays with nothing but home fans. If you want to watch your team away, you can't. You can't do it. You can't. First of all, it's suicide because nobody's gonna rescue you if you get caught in there in that cauldron. And second, it has suffered. The quality of Argentinian football has suffered for that decision, and I just don't want that to happen over here. Let's read these comments real quick here.
Yeah. Cliff Russo saw Wayne Rooney. Yep, he tapped that right as you hit on Wayne Rooney, David. And William Aguilar, after all that talk about pricing, are you guys going to the Miami game or considering? I was going to go, and then I saw the
I
price,
can't.
like I said, and I just can't make it work. I got
It,
a
it,
girlfriend and son pouting on me, and I can't make
it's a
that
divorce for me.
selfish decision.
It's a divorce for me, guys. It is. I'm telling you. If I go down to Miami, spending $800 for a ticket, might as well move down there and buy a pink Messi. I can come home. I can come home to my wife and justify that. I'd rather tell my wife that I'm spending that on a side piece that I have or on drugs than tell my wife that I actually spent $100 on football. I can't. I'm sorry. Uh, uh, Guys, I don't know. Listen,
And that's
I'm
not criticizing anybody that's going. Like we said, we wish we could go. We just can't. And we're going to be there in spirit with the folks that are able to go down
for
there.
sure.
From Orlando, we're going to be there behind all behind you guys from the couch in our living room, watching it on our TVs and screaming and yelling, just like we were at the match.
Yes, sir.
I want to deviate a little bit because well, before we close the loop on Miami, what do you guys think is going to happen Wednesday? What in all honesty, what do you think the result is going to be? Let's start with Ahmed, then we're going to finish with John.
There's only one result we need. We need a win, but we
That's
need
it.
a win, not on penalties, not on bad call. We need a win, and I honestly thought this at the game on Saturday. We can't have a win by a single goal and risk it to a bad call.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to win by 2, no matter what it is. So
Yeah,
here we go.
for sure, John.
I honestly think it's the same score line that we had this past Saturday, 3-2. Like I said, it's going to be a dogfight. I think Faku, he tried to put that Superman cape on late in the game Saturday. I think he's going to do it again against Miami 2 years in a row. Last year it was to pull the match square. I think this year he's gonna put the third one in to pull out the victory for us. Late in the game, 75th minute or later.
Mm-hmm. Well, for sure. In my opinion, what we need to do is we need to win, no matter how. There's two ways of winning this: via PKs, or straight up winning it. I would rather do the first because there's always a first. All streaks, good or bad, come to an end. We have been fortunate since 2011 that the eight times. And by the way, this doesn't happen to every football team. It doesn't happen all the time. Every single one of our PK rounds, we have won them, but there's the one day where we're gonna lose. And if we're gonna lose, I don't want it to be against Messi and Inter Miami. That's for sure. Hey, I mean, we're gonna let you go to make room for our friend Vixen Makasi here that is waiting. Please, after we're done with the show, if you don't mind coming to talk to us behind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, when we're off the air, just please come back because I want to talk to you about some things. All right, my brother. Thanks,
All
man.
right, gents, have a good one.
Thank you, brother. And we have straight from the state capital of our beloved Florida, our friend Vixen Makasi. Vixen, you're on the Capo stand. What's happening, brother?
Not bad, man. I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Listen, after that goal by our good friend Wilder, I feel like if I had taken 1,000 Viagras, I'm telling you right now. As a matter of fact, I had to at 4 hours ago. I had to call the doctor because he said, if after 24 hours, call the doctor, and he told me that it was perfectly okay, that I was fine. It was just a natural reaction to a golazo like that. Victor, your opinions? What happened, brother? Our favorite Peruvian scores a golazo, leaving. Look at that, leaving Santos Laguna on the pitch. What was your reaction to that? Were you there at the game or were you at home?
I was at home. I was watching it. I was celebrating the Peruvian Independence Day, actually.
Oh, look at that.
So the Peruvian Independence Day was the day before the game, but I mean, we celebrated the whole weekend. Like it's always the last few days of July where like the 20th is the actual Peruvian Independence Day, but we celebrate until until August hits, So he does that like the day after the Peruvian Independence Day, and everybody went, all the Peruvian community went nuts, and
As they should, because that friends, the finesse to put that ball between the keeper's legs. I'm sorry,
yeah.
it just takes football huevos, I would say in Spanish. It takes testicular fortitude and football IQ. So okay, so that happened, Vixen. Obviously, we're on a collision course with Miami. You
Yeah.
probably heard what we were talking about with Ahmed. I don't want to retrace some of those topics, but
No.
what I was going to ask you is um, the impossible, quote unquote, air quotes here. We beat Miami worldwide. What's the repercussion of that? We beat Miami. What does that mean for Orlando City?
It makes us huge contenders for the Leagues Cup, in my opinion, and to qualify for the Concacaf Cup, and to qualify for the FIFA Club World Cup. So, and if we do qualify for the FIFA Club World Cup, you know where it would be, here in the U.S.
Oh, look at that.
So that's a little something
Mhm.
to think about. But one thing I wanted to say, this is kind of like going off topic a little bit,
Yeah, man.
but no, the everything before, like, I was watching the game from home, and everything before, like, the first goal for Santos Laguna, it felt like a friendly, like, to me, like, I felt like it felt boring to me, the game, because it didn't because Santos Laguna wasn't trying hard, and that causes, like, for a boring game, because I don't know. I just have a small theory that, like, I think Santos Laguna wanted to, like, lose, but not by, like, a lot of goals. So I don't think that's why they were trying, because I think they were
Yeah.
just trying to go back to Mexico or
John,
whatever.
what was your impression of that? Because obviously Vixen and I watched it on
Yeah.
TV. You were there.
I mean, I felt like they had the intensity. You know, I didn't think. The only thing I thought was weird was their keeper, how he almost never caught the ball in the air. He almost always just punched it away. But as
Hmm.
far as the intensity of the players, I thought their intensity was there. I thought, they showed their speed, they showed their skill, and I didn't feel like they necessarily tried to lose or intentionally lost in any way, because I mean they scored the first goal. If it was maybe one of those things, if they let us get up by two, and then all of a sudden they stepped on it to score a goal to make it look like a competitive match. But I mean, in person, I felt like the intensity was there.
Oh
You know,
yeah, I've had a few friends that went to the game, and they completely went against what I said. Like, it felt like intense and stuff, but, like, just watching it on the TV from home, it just didn't feel that way.
Hmm.
So that's why it's always worth going to the actual match.
Yes, I have to agree with you. I rarely miss a match. And again, I watched it in Spanish, and I hope that you did as well. Sergio and Miguel did a fantastic job, but again, you're watching and listening to what the media is showing you, what Apple is showing you. When you're there, you're seeing with your own eyes, your own, and hearing with your own ears, and you have a different perspective. Let's go ahead and read this comment, John.
yeah. Cliff Russo, an example being I live in Salt Lake City, and if RSL beats Houston in the Open Cup, we possibly play Miami in the final. It's so stupid because it's so expensive. Yeah.
It is, and and Cliff says that as many of you know, I work for an Israeli laser manufacturer, and our headquarters in the states were in Salt Lake City. So I've been to Salt Lake City, you know, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, 15 weeks maybe. So one of the things is Salt Lake does have an affluent community, so it's a affluent city. There's some parts where they can go and pay these prices just comfortably, but also there's a community that can afford it, and in Salt Lake, all they have is RSL and the Jazz, and they're the biggest city in that region. So people will come down from Idaho and Nevada and Wyoming and all that, and other parts of the state, obviously. So they have that flexibility. Unfortunately, here in Orlando and in Florida as a whole, our sports teams have to compete with other things, the beach, the parks, the South Beach, all this other entertainment throughout the state. So it's a little harder, I think, to pull people in. MLS should be about families and kids, and right now that's out the window. Again, when we're paying $900 for one game in Section Triple Z, that's outrageous, guys. I wanna touch this subject. This was tweeted by our good friend Alonso Linka. And I'm gonna give him a shout out on his handle is at Alonso underscore Inca INCA. He works for Area Sports Network, and he tweeted the following. He said, "Leagues Cup round of 32, which is gonna be taking place August 2nd, 2023 at DRV Pink. That's this Wednesday. If you're listening, it already happened. I don't know why you're listening to the show. It already happened. But it's gonna be this Wednesday. And he says out of 11 games played total, is 5 victories for Orlando, 3 draws, and 3 losses for 16 goals scored. And we have won 3 games at Drive Pink Stadium and 2 at Exploria. So look at that. We actually have a better success rate going down to Miami than winning in our own house. That's to a 45.5% winning percentage. Now, Inter Miami, again, 3 victories. By the way, I'm going to make a parenthesis here. 2 of those victories happened with today's rest for Orlando after the MLS's back final and the Open Cup final. So there you have it, friends. Those victories were handed in silver platter. 3 draws and 5 defeats, and 15 goals scored by Inter Miami. They have won 3 games at Drive Pink Stadium, 0 at Exploria. So 5 times, or actually I should say twice. They have driven down the turnpike crying all the way home. And they have a percentage of 27.3%. So that's 10 games in MLS, 1 in US Open Cup, and the last game was where they face each other was a 3-1 victory for Orlando over Miami at Drive Pink Stadium, and he finishes this beautiful post with a song that says it wasn't 1, it wasn't 2, it was 3. And it shows all 3 goals. So Alonso, I have to say, this is trolling that makes David Valentin blush. So I wish I could be this petty, this picky, and this cheap, because they're gonna get mad. And if we win Wednesday, I'm saying it right now, you're probably gonna be sharing this video 1,000 times a day. So with that said, Vixen.
Yes.
Repercussions. Like I said, we asked the same question to our good friend Amen. The league wants Messi to win. We gave you guys the reasons why. Do you feel that it's going to be a fair contest, or perhaps the odds are stacked against us when we step on that pitch in South Florida?
You said the referee was Ted Uncle?
No, I was joking. I was joking about that.
Yeah, we were joking about that, brother. Are you kidding me?
All right, wait, hold on, man. I ain't
Bro, I would throw myself out the window right now. Get out of here.
I like the fact that you both said no.
No, are you kidding, bro? Come on now.
I think it's gonna be a bloodbath. They're gonna go against us, I feel like, but we've been through this before. MLS's back tournament. We beat them over there. Pedro Galese has not been scored on by Lionel Messi. And what else we got?
Hold on, Vixen. Do that again. Stick your chest out. Hold your scarf up and say that.
Pedro Galese has never been scored on by Lionel Andres Messi.
There
He
you
did
go.
say, Jenny Chu asked Pedro Galese a question. It was like, who was the most, strongest, like, dangerous striker you've ever, that shot against you? And he said, Luis Suarez, not
Oh wow.
Lionel Andres Messi. And that was a Jenny Chu interview back when in 2020, back when the pandemic first started, and
Oh wow.
we're doing everything from home. So hey, that's one thing. Yeah, I mean, we just have everything. We perform. You said that we perform better in Drive Pink Stadium than that's
At
another
home, yeah.
hand it. And I saw that people were leaving, leaving the stadium early, and when Lionel Andres Messi got subbed out, I don't know what type of fans are those really. Um,
Mhm.
what I just I hope I want to win. I want to win this game. I agree with what John said. I think it'll be a 3-2 game, and let's see. Let's hope for the best.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure. That's what you
I
can
wish,
do,
I wish
brother.
I could go to that game. I wish I would definitely go if I was in Orlando, but I'm in Tallahassee now, and that's just
Oh
that's
wow, that's what what's that, like 9 hours for you one way?
9 hours. Yeah, 9 hours
Oof. Oof, that's tough,
from here
bro.
to downtown Fort Lauderdale, and that's But I hope we win. Uh, I Somebody's gonna get a red card. I think there's gonna be a huge fight. I'm saying
Oh, 100%.
like a huge
100%.
fight. Like somebody's gonna. So
Question for the panel, my friends. Go ahead, John.
Cliff Russo, who would you rather have, Ted Uncle or Alan Chapman?
Ufa.
Oh,
Let's start with you, John,
I love
and
to pick
then
the
Vixen.
devil.
I got my answer ready.
Good.
Oh, me? Oh, sorry. Me, I rather have Alan Chapman than Ted Uncle. Ted Uncle is a pain. Like,
Listen, that's not even a choice because Alan Chapman is an incompetent buffoon that embarrassed himself worldwide. I'm sorry, they made when the situation with that gave us that beautiful moment of Rodrigo Schlegel on goal. That was embarrassing. And Ted Uncle, uh, listen, you have to be. I don't even know with what face he shows up to stadiums, knowing that he is so incompetent and biased that the league agreed with Orlando City that he should not referee any of our games.
oh my! I like every time I see his daughter like talk about like refereeing this and that like on Paramount. I just like flip, like I turned on Netflix. Like I don't want to like.
Oh no, it's not. It's not. That's his wife, by the way.
Oh, that's his wife. Oh, I thought
That's
it
his
was
wife, by the way.
nah.
But for those that don't know, Tay Uncle's wife is also a referee. She, with the Orlando Pride, she was just as biased, just as dirty,
No.
and the reason why she is no longer allowed to referee anything that Orlando Pride. Listen, I don't understand why an organization has two individuals that have been flagrantly biased. That's unprofessional. That that
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
there's no integrity.
Yeah.
So that's when you say thank you very much and you let them go because we can't have this. What's going to happen next? We're not going to like this guy. We're not going to like that guy, and then we're going to have 20 guys that can't referee one team. It's just ridiculous. What we need to do is we need to raise the standard of refereeing in the United States. John and I talked about this last week, I believe, where I mentioned that in the UK, referees also get promoted. And as if you do great in League Two, then you go to League One, etc., etc. By the time you reach the EPL, you are somebody that is a master of your craft, and that's how it should be here in the United States. I don't understand why we don't require FIFA badges from our referees. That somebody explain that how that works to me because that's the first question that friends from England have asked me when they go to the stadium. That where's the FIFA badge? Because guess who has FIFA badges in League One and League Two? The referee in England. So why isn't that we can't have the same situation here?
Oh yeah.
But I
The thing
digress.
is, David, too, is the whole Alan Chapman situation a couple years ago with Gillespie that ended up giving the moment with Schlegel. I mean, that's refereeing 101. I was sitting there, ironically, near Fort Lauderdale. I was in South Florida for work. I was working on Saturdays at the time. In between jobs watching the match. I had about 2.5 hour break between jobs. And I'm sitting there watching it, and Brian Rowe was our backup. And I see Brian Rowe walking on the field, and I'm like, why is our backup keeper coming on the field? We have to go with a position player.
Mm-hmm.
And then they let him come on, they take him off, they let him come on again, and then they take him off the last. And I mean, that was an embarrassment on American soccer. That was an embarrassment on the league.
It was an embarrassment.
That was an embarrassment on pro referees. And honestly, Alan Chapman should have lost his job. He should have 100%. You make a big mistake like that at work, David, or even Vixen. What's happening?
Make mistakes, I kill people.
Day one mistake, you're probably getting fired.
I make mistakes, I kill people. I'm dead honest when I tell you that. I've been working in biomedical engineering for the last 20 years. I work on lasers, work on imaging, worked on surgical. I make a mistake, I kill people. It's that simple. Mm-hmm. I'm very meticulous on what I do. Very proud of that. Forgive me for being boastful, but I'm just a poor kid from Bayamon, Puerto Rico that went to college, went into the military, and today I love my job. I love what I do. I have to say that. And I make a mistake, I kill people. And all I want from my referees, and I have said this before, my employer demands excellence from me. Therefore, when I go to the stadium on Saturday, Wednesday, whenever that is, I demand that those professionals that have skills that I wish I had, because I'm short, I'm fat, I'm in bad shape, I have high blood pressure. I don't have what those guys have. I want them to give me the best product, including our visitors, by the way. Mm-hmm. Both teams. I want the best because people demand the best from me. John, if you don't mind reading this comment from Cliff.
Cliff Russo, we should have FIFA badges. Good point, David. Yeah,
for sure.
No, I mean, we're talking about going to the Copa Libertadores very soon, and we're gonna
next year.
Next year we're gonna be refereeing matches without FIFA badges. Like, come on, like
for sure. And in South America, it's a requirement, guys.
It doesn't matter somebody from Chile or somebody from Uruguay or Paraguay watching a game of like FC Cincinnati versus Colo Colo and be like, oh, why do they? What's up with this badge here? Like, they're gonna be so confused. We're gonna go to a bigger tournament, in my opinion. And with pro, badges,
it's the most valuable tournament in the Americas.
There you go.
Hands down. Hands down.
No, but one ref that I dislike even more than Telanco and Alan Chapman is me personally, Baldomero Toledo.
You know what? But he retired. I know who you're talking about. How can I say this without sounding like an asshole? And you guys excuse my language. How can I say this? The problem with him, and I'm glad that he was shown the door before VAR came in, is that he couldn't admit that he was wrong. And if you can put a face to a person, if you remember the game against New England in 2016, where he granted a handball on Servando Carrasco, a ball that you can see clearly his hits him in the badge.
I was in that game.
Yes, and the byproduct of that was the following: because we tied rather than win, that's what cost us missing playoffs in 2016. We could have made playoffs in year 2, and God knows what would have happened because the league was smaller. And once you go into an elimination tournament, anything can happen. We ended up finishing what was it, 6th, 7th, 8th, and because New England, oddly enough, and Columbus ended up tied on points, and the last spot win was decided on goal differential. So basically, with those 2 points, we would have surpassed them, both of them. It would have made playoffs.
Yep.
So with that said, this man
That's for me,
cost us the game. Cost us the game. You can see it. You can go back on YouTube and see that game. It's so clear, and I felt
I know.
so freaking helpless. I wanted to pitch invade and get on his face because he was so helpless. And I finished. So you guys can say that. So your thoughts on this? I feel that the reason why he granted that PK was because on the other side, there's a good argument that it was a handball on Molina, Kevin Molino,
Kevin
who
Molino.
yeah, Kevin Molino, he controlled the ball with his shoulder
Mhm.
and scored, and because he allowed that to happen, maybe this was a makeup call. It happened. It was years ago, but he was super incompetent. I mean, we've been done by the refs. Which Wednesday we may be getting shafted. I'm just gonna say it like that, friends. So don't be surprised. Like I'm going to this, guys. I'm going to this, throwing myself at the mercy of the universe. I like everybody. I'm a man of faith. I think that to our Creator, there's bigger things happening in the universe for Him to deal with than this game on Wednesday. But Lord, if you're listening, and I know you are, um, I'm your humble servant, and you love me, and I know that I love you. So just grant me this wish, because the Orlando City fan base right now, I know they're praying. They're praying. They're saying, God, please let's win. Not because we're gonna go for a trophy. Not because we're gonna defeat a rival. Not because we're gonna defeat Messi. It's because we want to see David Valentino leash on Twitter or
Mhm.
X. Sorry. So that's what they want. So we'll see what happens. All right, Vixen. So we are wrapping it up, my friend.
Yeah.
Expectations on Wednesday. Just throw what you think. What you think is going to happen this Wednesday.
Yeah. I think we're gonna win 3-2. I think luck will be on our side. It's gonna be a bloodbath, a major bloodbath,
I
and
agree.
that's this game will be something that unlike I've never seen before from Orlando. Like there's so many stuff. Like what John said earlier. This is a really big game, almost as equivalent as our home opener.
Wow.
And it's really huge. And I hope we don't get a Balomero Toledo referee. And in that match. I hope Duncan McGuire makes headlines yet again. I'm happy to hear that he is being scouted by the USMNT for the September friendlies coming
Mhm.
up against Germany and Ghana.
Good for him.
So if not that, then in October we got Uzbekistan and Oman. Or I don't know which. I don't know if Uzbekistan and Oman is in September or in October.
I'm pretty sure that one's a September one.
Uzbekistan and Oman.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the
Okay.
September one. The more difficult one is in October.
Oh,
But to go back real quick, Vixen, what you said about watching it on TV and then the players of the opposition looking like they weren't trying as hard. The TV, I'm telling you, man, you've been to matches. The TV did not do the atmosphere justice of what it was Saturday night. It was, not relatively close to a sellout. There were a lot of empty seats, but man, I'm telling
16K
you,
was the official number, John.
how much?
16K.
That doesn't surprise me. But the atmosphere of the stadium, I have not felt Exploria Stadium like that since the first season. I mean, it has been, and again, I wasn't at the playoff matches. I'm sorry, U.S. Open Cup Championship, it was like that. It was a sellout crowd. That was a championship match. That's to be expected. But as far as a non-championship match, the atmosphere was incredible. Like Ahmed said, the entire stadium, when we had that free kick moments before we scored the game winner, the entire stadium was chanting "Vamos Orlando,"
Mhm.
and you couldn't even tell on the TV because they had the microphones.
Oh wow.
deafened. So yeah, but I mean, it was a great match. I mean, it was the most fun match I've ever been to.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. So, Vixen, we want to thank you, my friend, for always being there for us on Mondays.
Thank
Appreciate
you
that.
for having me. Thank you.
Hopefully next Monday we get to talk about a win. So we wanna bid you adieu. The Incan Warriors. That's I'm reading your nickname there for the week. Thank you, my
Yeah.
friend. It was great talking to you, and hopefully, like I said, we can talk about a win come Monday. Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Vixen.
Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. All right, John. So we're gonna wrap it up. We've been yapping almost an hour and 30 minutes. Wanna read this comment here real quick before we go?
Definitely. Cliff Russo, in all caps for those listening, they will have FIFA badges for the World Cup in 26.
Of
That
course, they
means
have to. They have to. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. Real quick, friends, I just want to remind you that you can join us live on Monday nights. You can email us at footyfan76 at yahoo.com, just like Vixen did, or you can send us a DM on Twitch. We're live at On the Capo Stand. On X, we're at On the Capo Stand. On YouTube, we're at David's Channel 76. On Instagram, we're at On the Capo Stand. On Facebook, we're at On the Capo Stand podcast. So thank you very much for all the people that watched us live. Now that we're wrapping it up, some people are saying, you know what, I don't need to say goodbye to these guys. I'm out. So thank you very much for the people that show up live, the people that comment, the people that came on the show. We appreciate that. And tell friends, we're here. We're a platform for the fans. God willing, Wednesday we get to win. And I'll say this, so John can say his final thoughts. The fact of the matter is that the game of football is cruel and unpredictable, and like you always heard me say, it takes a pound of talent and an ounce of luck. I love my club, win or lose. I have been here through the worst seasons, through the worst of the worst. And if Inter Miami needs to bring Messi to defeat us, because they couldn't do it before, they couldn't do it last year, they couldn't do it the year before that, they couldn't do it the year before that, then we're doing something good. I want to thank Ricardo Moreira and Luis Musi, because whatever happens this Wednesday, it's happening because of their hard work. And also, I would like to thank Oscar Pareja, because he has weathered the storm, has sailed through a thick cloud of criticism, including yours truly, and it looks like he's gonna shut my mouth. And I'm gonna make you this promise. If we have a successful season, I'm gonna go and tell him in person. I'm gonna record it as well. Okay, because I'm a man of my word. I don't hide behind social media. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. So I just gonna again, Oscar Pareja. This is the team that we wanted to begin with, and John will agree with me on that. And it's happening. And you know what? If he confides in me that every day he will wake up in the morning and look at his mirror, and my picture was there, and he just basically said, "I gotta win to make this man eat his words." By all means, God bless him. John, any last words before we say goodbye?
Yeah, I'm going to take a chance to make fun of our rivals to the north of us, the plastic fans that are Atlanta. I'm sure, David, you saw it on Twitter today. The loyal plastic fans of Atlanta United are withdrawing their season tickets in droves. I probably saw 20 different tweets today come across my X, Twitter timeline, whatever, newsfeed, whatever you want to call it. People saying I'm canceling my season tickets until the team does better and they have something to be proud of.
Imagine if we had done that, John. There will be nobody in that stadium. Imagine if we had done that. There will be nobody in the stadium.
Yeah, and it's it's funny. David and I, he posted it on his personal thing. I posted the quote on the show. And actually, I'm gonna do something that's gonna make for great for the people listening. I'm gonna look up the quote because David and I, as loyal football supporters of our club, live by
Yes, I
this
know
quote.
which one you are going for. It's
Yep.
one of my favorites. I
Yep.
quote it all the time, friends, because it encapsulates what supporting a football club is all
hmm
about. Go ahead, John.
So the quote goes, when you start supporting a football club, you don't support it because of the trophies or a player or history. You support it because you found yourself somewhere there, found a place where you belong, and that's Dennis Bergkamp said that.
Yes,
And David and I
Arsenal
have
legend, and national Dutch national team legend as well.
and David and I have supported this club through thick and thin since basically the very beginning, before the
Yeah,
trophies, before the Kakas, before the Nanis, before the Duncan Maguires, before the Facundo Torreses, and we will be here much, much longer, God willing, than they are. Longer than Poppy. You know, the man deserves a statue. You know, he's going to win us the Leagues Cup. He's going to win us the MLS Cup. Heck, at this rate, we might come back and win the Supporter Shield from Cincinnati. Which, by the way, I booked my tickets today to go up to Cincinnati
awesome.
to see the boys beat FC Cincinnati in their own house. So yeah, I mean, you know, Atlanta's making a mockery of themselves, just like everybody knew they would. We're too busy, unfortunately, focusing on you know the state
On small
rivalry and the
clubs, so
state
we
derby.
don't have time for that. We're
Exactly.
not a
So
charity.
yep. So yeah, it's funny that I wanted to touch on that real quick before we left, but you can find me on X at datboy jr dub, Instagrams jrdub15. Keep up on our Twitter with you know club news and everything. I'm still the only one running it. David's not allowed to touch it. He's still got the hot fingers, if you will.
There you go.
Um,
But both of us contribute on the Instagram, so you
yep.
guys can go there. Thank you, John. Appreciate that, my friend, for once again joining me in this enterprise. We have one last comment before we say goodbye. I don't want to leave it there hanging.
Yeah, Vixen, Ted Uncle never ruined, in all caps, never ruined our chances like Baldomero did. So that's why he was worse than Uncle. Yeah.
Okay, well, debatable because I
Well,
hate them both with every fiber of my body.
mhm.
So again, friends, when our boys walk out of the tunnel Wednesday, the only one thing that I'm gonna be what I'm gonna be thinking about is about those days long ago, those nights at Fifth Third Bank at the Citrus Bowl when a bunch of unknowns represented Orlando. Back when Miguel Gallardo was between the post, back when we had Luke Bowden and Dennis Chan and Jamie Watson and James O'Connor, all those guys who gave us great. The Dom Dwyer, I can't forget the legendary Dom Dwyer. Those guys gave us great joys and happiness. If you would have thought, because I was thinking about this when I was looking at the Rowdy Stadium. If you would have thought back then that we were gonna be playing Messi in MLS, I would have asked you to check your medications.
Not even a
So
year after he won the World Cup.
absolutely. And no matter what happens, I am as purple as I was the day before, and I'll be the day after. Remember, friends, that a football season is ups and downs, peaks and valleys, only interrupted by brief moments of joy. So if we win, again, if you're sensitive to the savagery, don't go on social media. Unfriend me, block me, whatever you have to do. But if we lose, you know what? The sun is gonna come up tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, outside of the 407-321, nobody believes in us. But that's not gonna be the first. And definitely it's not gonna be the last. So John, thank you very much. I can be found at most hated in 407 on Twitter, the underscore man the underscore Florida underscore man 76 on Instagram if you want to stare at pictures of my family. Definitely follow us on all our platforms. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. That does help us a ton. And let friends know we're here. And thank you very much for joining us. And we say goodbye like we always do. And of course, next Monday we're gonna be here, so I hope to see you guys here as well. We're gonna say goodbye as we always do, reminding you that football is for those that don't mind having their mouth smashed and their hearts broken. And I'm gonna add to that saying that remember that football is played not on paper but on grass. So let's wait until the final whistle to say anything. Until then, friends, from John and myself, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!